Hello there, Gemini. Welcome to April and your 3-card reading for the whole month. I hope you've been having a good start to spring, even if it's a little slow, depending where you are on the planet with weather. Here, I'm coming to you from Montreal, so we still have lots of snow and ice around, but we're starting to hear the birds come back, which is lovely. So hopefully you're enjoying the start of spring as well. We're going to first burn our sage, and if you have any, you can burn along with me. Otherwise, just imagine that this smoke of the sage is all around you, as it is around me. And around our cards, too. So, just shuffling for you for the month of April. Mercury is finally direct. Thank goodness. March 28th. It went direct, and up until the 16th of April, we have the post-retrograde phase where basically we're integrating what we learned from this 3-week Mercury retrograde. Because it's your ruling planet, it's a big deal. And because it was in Pisces, not your most compatible great sign, again, a big deal. March might have felt like a bit of a foggy, thick, sluggish, slow kind of energy for you. Whoops, I just dropped a card, fell out of the deck. All right, so I'm going to make that your first card since it jumped out of the deck. So your first card, Gemini, is the 9 of Pentacles. Your second card is the Prince of Swords. And your third, the Princess of Swords. Alrighty. So we have, first of all, a card, the 9 of Pentacles, of gain or wealth. And it's a card of Virgo energy, which is also ruled by Mercury like you, just in a different way. So basically, 9 of Pentacles can mean that you get some sort of financial gain in your life. Maybe there's money coming in, there's a raise, somebody paid you back, investment came due, tax season is upon us, it could be tax return. And sometimes this energy of Venus and Virgo on this card can be like an accountant. So it's like you're going over all the details of your finances, but you look like you're going to come out ahead. Now, the next 2 cards are a little more difficult. Sometimes these could be Gemini cards. They're air signs. The Prince and the Princess of Swords. As you can see, they look like they're struggling. This is youthful air energy. What does that mean? Think about yourself when you were a kid, before you realized how a lot of the world worked, and you thought that you could get through life just by being smarter than everybody. And then you find out it doesn't work that way completely. Or think about when you were younger, or other people you know, where there's a lot of ideas and pent up energy, and there isn't always financial means for those plans to happen. So there's a lot of frustration. Also think about, just wanting to do too many things at once, thinking about or learning about so many things at once. That's very Gemini, right? And then it's difficult to choose, and which one do you pursue and which one do you follow through on, and which ones are going to work, and all of that stuff. So the Prince and the Princess of Swords are both young, and they struggle mentally with decisions and scatter and not being reliable and maybe causing some drama. Maybe they just like to pick an argument because maybe they're very clever and they can outsmart you, and you've got to watch that they don't outsmart you. Unless this is representing you or someone or somebody younger, unless this is representing you, I get a feeling that we're talking about some younger people in your life rather than you. And younger doesn't always mean younger by the calendar. It can also just mean younger in terms of a young soul or somebody not acting very mature at the time. There's a couple of people around then that could be struggling, could be very oppositional, scattered, lacking money, lacking focus, lacking discipline. So when you've got a money card around that, a couple things could be happening. Maybe they're hitting you up for money. Maybe these people need your financial help because they're struggling. Maybe you're debating whether to pay for certain things to help these people out. And also it can mean like a caution on that. Have some boundaries, have some limits to how much you're going to do or how much you're going to help before it's truly their journey to be responsible. Because when you get two figures like that are very, they're struggling with anxiety and they can't really plan things and they can't keep their word on things, well, that's not your job to make sure that they don't have to grow up. So whoever this applies to, and sometimes this is you and the prince and princess are your parents and they're in their 60s, Other times this is literally children. And if they're young enough, obviously you don't say, well, you're on your own, kid. But if we're talking about young adults that really need to be learning their responsibilities, then let them learn their responsibilities a bit more. And if we're talking about adults, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, who haven't gotten their shit together, let them get their shit together. Limits to your help is the message for this month. So, and if it applies to you, then, and hopefully it doesn't, then you want to also take your power back and get your shit together. If you need any help this month, if you'd like a reading, I'm available online or in person, river-rain.com, or clairvoyant medium Catherine Allen on Facebook. I wish you a wonderful month.